On today's show, we'll talk about the market ticking back up with the start of NHL training camps, and the Cup has been released. So we'll break down the product and tell you who we think are the top rookie chases from this set. This is episode 20 of the Hockey Card Haven podcast. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome. This is the Hockey Card Haven podcast. I'm Mike Distefano with my co-host Anthony Santini, here to dive deep into the world of hockey card collecting, flipping, and investing. What's going on, Anth? How you feeling on a Wednesday?
What's up, buddy? Feeling pretty good. And dude, we gotta address it right off the hop. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's the new laptop or the little tan you got going on over there, but something's going on, dude. We're coming out high stepping this week after we missed last Wednesday, but I think we're ready to go this week.
It's a new year, buddy. It's a new year, new me, new us. I do think I got a nice glowing tan, actually. Thank you for noticing. I had a nice little bachelor weekend up north for one of my best buds, and we were out on Minden Lake and out on the dock and outside enjoying, soaking up the sun. It was a beautiful weekend, man. I don't know if you got up to some golf. I'm sure you were out there swinging the sticks. I bet it was a beautiful weekend, man. I got a little bit of color. Got a belly burn. We were tarps off, chilling in the lake, and I noticed when I took a shower that night, a little heat on the belly. You know, when you get a sunburn and you feel it right away on the hot water.
Brutal.
That was me that night. But new computer though. Yes, did get a brand new computer, and I've heard the comments from everybody saying, you gotta get better internet service because your computer keeps your internet keeps crapping up, and you get. It wasn't the internet, it was the computer. My computer was like 8 years old, and it just wasn't able to do what I needed it to do anymore. And I was saving up the pennies. I was flipping cards all summer, trying to be able to save up enough money to buy myself a brand new MacBook, and here it is. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that it really was the computer. That was always my thought process. And if there's no jittery, no lagging, no nothing, then I think we've solved the problem and we should be good to go as we head to the new season, man. Like it is a new season, and NHL training camps open up today. I know here in the city of Toronto, the Leafs opening up camp today with their media availabilities. They'll be doing their camp physicals and medicals today, and then they'll get to the on-ice training sessions on Thursday. But plenty of camps starting up around the league all week long. So, we're one step closer to the real thing starting up in just a few weeks. So, and look, you can tell. I mean, you and I have been to a couple of shows. I set up at a show last weekend. You've been to a couple now, 2 weeks in a row. So shows are starting to pick back up, and the market is starting to kind of tick back up, right? I think that's one takeaway that I've had over the last couple of weeks going to these shows. The market prices trending back upward. You aren't getting those summer prices anymore, right? Like that's done. Now you're paying, the seasonal rate. You're not getting the Matthews PSA 10s for $1,000 anymore. Now they're back up 11, 1,200. Even a guy like Mitch Marner, who I was buying for a little bit, his PSA 10s, I was looking earlier today, they had sales in the $200 range in early August. Now you're going to be paying $280, $300 for a PSA 10 Marner Young Guns, and the whole market really just starting to really tick back up. What's something that you've noticed, or if you have any examples of that from your dealings over the last couple of weeks, heading up a couple of shows here?
Well, 2 weeks in a row, I was able to make it out to shows, which is so perfect. And we're going to get into it later.
Back, baby, we're back.
Third week in a row, we're going to be going to the CSC this Sunday at the Mississauga Convention Center. I know we're going to talk about it later on. Fired up for it, super ready for it. But it's been a really good 2 weeks of sports card shows, I'd say. And I feel like everyone's ready for the season to start. And the number one thing I noticed too, I'd say for you to mention like those season prices is what you're going to pay for the players you want. It's so true. You kind of go to tables and you see people picking up cards, Makars, Pedersons, Matthews, McDavids. And at this point, it's kind of just like, I have to pay the full comp. Like I need to if I want to pick up this player before the season starts, because sooner or later, you're not paying $220, $230 for a Makar Young Guns raw. Like it's not going to happen. You're going to be paying $300 and upwards, perfect example of a guy who you got to pick up now, because come November time, come mid-October, you're not sniffing these guys for a good deal. So that's the
Yeah.
one thing I noticed the past 2 weeks for sure. All these hot players, top 10 players in the league, flying out of display cases, just flying.
Yeah, no, I've seen the same. A lot of these higher end players, guys starting to pick them up. I've seen the market just in general. I was looking in terms of total sales volume and sales numbers. Both are at highs, I guess, over the last 6 weeks. This past weekend, so this was a really busy weekend for the hobby as people start to pick up. Like you said, there's a lot of shows going on, a lot of flipping going on online, and obviously everyone wants to get their cards ahead of the start of the season. The speculating has kind of begun. So, I'm excited, man. Like that's something that we totally are getting prepped for here, and we want to talk about that throughout the course of the season. Next week I think we're going to sit down and kind of talk about some possible breakout players that we think could be breaking out in the hobby, and that you can still buy at a relatively cheap rate that might be ready to skyrocket if they have a big season. So, I'm excited for that conversation next week. But is there any other key takeaways that you have kind of gleaned from attending a couple of these shows over the last few weeks here?
They just feel so busy. Like, it's ridiculous. I know that the show that I was at just this past Sunday, it's called the Greater Toronto Sports Card Show. I believe the first of its kind at that particular location, and the first time that the people running the show actually had it. And I thought it was just a remarkable show. Like
Yeah.
10 out of 10. It had everything that you needed. Fair admission price. I think it was like $5 or $10, which is pretty relatively fair for what came out of it. All kinds of vendors, all kinds of people walking, lots of space. The only thing was not a lot of parking outside, but I mean, I'm not really a guy that's going to complain about a card show and then complain about the parking. I made it work, so it didn't matter. But I
Yeah.
feel like just the vibe in the air at the show is different. Like everyone is ready for the season. Everyone's talking sports, talking shop. It's not the middle of the summer and it's like, oh, let's negotiate for this card. And oh, you're going up to the cottage this weekend. Nice. It's like, no, let's negotiate for this card. Let's talk shop. Let's talk sports. Oh, you watched the football game today? Oh, you're getting ready for camps. What are you watching? You're watching College Game Day? Like what's going on? So it's
Yeah.
definitely one of the better times in the hobby for sure to heat up.
Yeah, I will say this though, like as flippers, it is a difficult time to buy at this moment because, as you noted before, eh, prices are starting to tick up, but what it also means is guys are less willing to, make a deal just because they know, in about a month or so I could probably get this price. With prices starting to go up, you're less likely to take 90% comp, let's say, or even current comps. Even sometimes people don't want to take because they believe that a month from now, the once the season starts, and if that player gets off to a hot start, if they believe in that player, that they're going to see the market explode, and they're willing to hang on to it for another month. Back in June, July, maybe even early August, you're still looking at 2-3 months away. It's like, yeah, all right, maybe let's move on, and we can move that money elsewhere for now. Well, now it's only a few weeks, so people are willing to hang on to their cards, and so if you're buying, you're usually buying at a more proper rate, I guess you could say, or guys are getting the dollar that they're asking for, which would be market price, as opposed to 80%, which is what kind of you were able to buy stuff throughout the summer. So that's another indication that we're close. Is guys are less willing to part with their cards because we're so close to the true explosion once the season starts.
And it kind of goes off what you hear a lot at card shows, not as much during the summer, but now is the perfect time when you're talking to a vendor. You see cards, and the single line they give you is, yeah, I mean, I have more, but I'm holding on. You see a Stutzel PSA 10 for a fair price. You're like, oh, you got any more of those like hanging around in the case? What's going on? Yeah, but I got some more at the house. I'm not looking to move on everything right now. Or you see McDavid, Matthews. And that's kind of the mentality that dealers are in right now, because why move it now, especially for a cheap price when you're so close to the season? I mean, October 4th, first drop of the puck, and then we're just soaring. We're going on with new players trending up, players trending down, new cards coming out. Like we're just a couple weeks away from the hobby. Excuse me, from the hobby to really start ticking up. So I'm fired up.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think both of us are. And I really quickly just want to check one thing when it comes to oh, I didn't look into that right. I'm trying to check because do you remember the prediction I made about the Connor Bedard? I said by the time the season starts, where the Connor Bedard PSA 10 was going to be at. Do you remember my prediction?
The price or the pop count? I believe the pop count you predicted to be over. I believe we were saying over.
5K. I
Yeah,
thought for sure it
wasn't
was
like
going to get over
yeah,
5K by the start of the season or by training camp. And then I said by the start of the season, I believed that it was going to be the highest populated PSA 10
right.
card in the hockey universe. Currently, that is held by Jack Hughes. And then Kirill Kaprizov has the second highest populated card, but really close behind those two who are in the high 5,000s, like 56, 57, 5,800. Right behind them is Connor Bedard at 5,394. So close to 5,400 PSA 10 pop count for Connor
Unreal.
Bedard. So it's starting to slow down. I don't know if it's going to exceed the numbers currently that we're seeing for Jack Hughes. Let me see if I can find what Jack Hughes PSA pop count is. I should have had that pulled up. I totally meant to have it pulled up, and for whatever reason I did not. But it's getting pretty close, man. Like we're not too far off.
It feels like too it's only going to trend up with Bedard and how his season is going to pick up. What I think, I don't think there's going to be any sort of sophomore slump going on for him. I think it's just going to be high stepping out of the gate, like hey, just like us out of the podcast. Starting October 4th, he's flying. First game 1, he's ready to go. And I feel like he has a really good opportunity to score 30 plus goals this year, which would really, really help his hobby price.
I was having a conversation with somebody actually today from it was Matt Larkin who works for Daily Faceoff, senior editor for Daily Faceoff, and I was talking to him on the radio today, and he's of the belief that we're going to see an explosion of Connor Bedard, and he kind of looked and said, if you look at what we've seen from these generational talents in year two, the Crosbys, the McDavids, the leap that they made in their second years, winning MVPs, winning the Art Ross, like I don't know if we're necessarily going to see Bedard compete for an MVP. McDavid is still playing at his peak. But could we see him score 40 to 50 goals this year? Put up 90 to 100 points? I think it's possible. And if that happens, there's going to be a market for Connor Bedard. We'll see if that market gets into the McDavid stratosphere. The pop counts kind of worry me a little bit as for why I'm not sure we're going to see that PSA 10 triple and 3x to the 3,000 range where we see Connor Bedard's PSA 10 live at. But I think we could see it rise from the maybe 1,100 where it's sitting at right now. We'll see. I know I've been a bit of a hater when it comes to Bedard's prices, all season long, pretty much. But we'll see. They've remained very strong through the summer, and that's something that honestly surprised me. I thought we were going to see a dip into $250 or so was kind of my prediction in midsummer. That'd be the low point, and then we'd see a tick back up. It never actually dipped below $300. I think I saw 340-ish is where we saw 340, 350, and now it's back up. I saw like 480 if you're trying to get a raw Bedard Young Guns. That was kind of the last sales I was seeing on Card Ladder. So, Bedard's market's still very, very strong. And speaking of, actually, did you see, we could bring this up now. I kind of had it tucked away for news and notes, but while we're talking about Connor Bedard, did you see what our pals over at Slab Sharks have done?
No, see it.
So Slab Sharks has a bounty for a Connor Bedard exquisite 1 of 1 RPA from Ice. So it's the one that they did from Ice. So not the cup, which we'll get to. It's actually last year's cup that's coming out. So not a lot of people I think that Bedard's cup is coming out. That's not the case. But this is the card that we are talking about. Actually, I'll move us. Whoop, not what I was trying to do.
No, no, it's a yes.
I'll remove us for a second. But this is what the card looks like right now. So this is what we're looking at: $75,000 bounty offer on this card currently by Slab Sharks. I think GP Sports Cards, I guess, is involved with it as well. They're I believe they're out of Quebec, if I'm not mistaken. But so this is a card, one of one, out of Ice RPA that we spoke about. I don't know if you remember, but we did have this conversation a couple weeks ago when we broke down Ice, and I said I believe that this was a 50K card, and you said no, 10 to 25,000 max. We got a $75,000 bounty on this bad boy, Anthony.
That's unreal. Unreal. I love how it's like the patch too that we've talked so many times about with Chicago. They have the nicest patches ever, like those 3-color. I know it could be a little bit more, but even still, like the on-card auto, one of one, sweet looking patch, Bedard. Like there's no better opportunity than right now to pull some of these crazy cards. And it looks like you have to pull it from the GP Sports Break too. But I'm sure, I guess I could kind of go out on a limb and say that if it was pulled elsewhere, maybe their offer wouldn't be the exact same of 75,000, but I can be sure that they would most definitely still be interested in the card.
Yeah. And would you sell? Would you sell? Would you take the money, or would you rather have that one of one and be like, I own the Connor Bedard Exquisite RPA?
I think I would like 1,000,000% take the money. Like snap, take the money. And hey, maybe other people could be in like a different position too, right? Like if you're flexible holding a card that's $75,000, like hey, go ahead. I mean, it could be the right investment too. That card could double in the next year. We don't know. All we know is that the power of the hobby is strong, and especially with a player like Bedard, it's possible. It's more than possible. But me personally, I think I'm snap selling that thing like immediately. Just first offer that seems extremely reasonable. See you later, man.
$75,000, pretty reasonable offer, I would think, for a hockey card, a piece of cardboard with a jersey and an autograph on it. Not shabby. Although if he does become like a stud player, like in the generational talent ilk, that might not be a bad investment for Slab Sharks to make. And they're making that investment, and they're praying that he, turns into a McDavid, Crosby, Matthews level generational superstar. And all of a sudden, that $75,000 investment is now worth, $150,000. So we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening with Connor Bedard. But, definitely excited about that. Thought that was pretty cool to see that big bounty out there for one of his cards. Still waiting to see the one of one Young Guns, the gold $1 million Young Guns, which apparently is still active. The bounty is still available if anyone can pull it. Still out there. No one knows where this card is, but hopefully it gets pulled sooner rather than later. All right, Anthony. Let's get into one of the things we want to talk about today, and it's the release of the latest and the final actually release of the 22-23 Upper Deck product line, and it is the Cup, which this is the Rolls Royce, the Maserati, Ferrari, whatever you want to call it, of hockey card products. It is one tin. You get 6 cards, and it's going to cost you about $1,200 for 6 cards. It averages like $200 a card, basically. But you're hoping, praying, realistically, to pull one of those massive cards. You're looking for those exquisite RPAs out of the Cup RPAs, and of course the one of one rookie shields. Those are going to be the big chases that people are looking for inside the Cup. Now, within the 6 card tin that you get, you will get 1 RPA. You are guaranteed a rookie auto patch card. You will get an additional autograph memorabilia, book card, or printing plate. You will get an additional autograph, and then you will also get 2 more memorabilia cards, inserts, printing plates, or redemptions of some kind, and then 1 base card as well, the base set numbered to 200. So you're only getting 6 cards, but of the 6 cards, you're getting 5 memorabilia / auto products. So this is the best of the best when it comes to hockey card products. It's something that I have never actually opened up myself. I unfortunately am not in that stratosphere, but it's exciting for the cup to be coming out. However, again, it's not 23-24, people. It's 22-23. It brings a close to the 22-23 rookie class, actually. Now I know it's late, like 2 years late almost at this point, or certainly 1 year late at this point. But nevertheless, it's still going to be a very highly sought after product. It comes out today, actually, being released today. I should note that today, Wednesday, September 18th. So it's not Bedard, but it is, the Slavkovsky, the Shane Wright, the Berniers, guys like that. We're gonna kind of rank who we think are the top chases at this point. But what I think is interesting, you let me know how you feel about this. Because I was having that conversation today, like when we were talking about, okay, what are we gonna talk about? And I'm like, it's wild. Like this is the finality of the 22-23 product line. And just think about the ups and downs over the course of the 2 years almost that we've had 22-23 cards, dating back to like MVP, which is the first release, to present, right? Where we're now getting the cup. The ups and downs that all of the players on the rookie checklist have had, and the hobby moments that many have had, the rises, the falls. It's kind of wild how in 2 years, you could pinpoint a certain time and say, oh, that card is going to be expensive, or no one's going to care about that. I think it's wild that how different things have kind of been the last couple of years, and how dramatically we've seen a shift in kind of the chases, I guess we could say, within the 22-23 rookie class.
I mean, it feels like too right off the top, it was Owen Power is the biggest chase, being the first overall pick in the draft. But to give kind of no hints away from my list, he's not even on my top five right now, which is a little bit impressive considering he was the first overall pick. But it feels like, from a certain extent, Beniers had to be the top chase at one point, obviously winning the Calder. Slavkovsky being also the first overall pick in the, I believe it was the 23 draft, or no, the 22 draft,
Yeah,
which
20.
could be extremely popular, like we've seen with that Montreal market, which is just ridiculous. Wyatt Johnson also being one of the top chases in the product. Like, there's just all kinds of different players that could have held that pedestal. I could even say to a certain extent that Kent Johnson at one point was in the top three of being the
Yeah,
most sought after players in this year, because you remember when he did that little Michigan goal, his young guns got up to like 20-25 bucks, which now they sit around $6 to $12 range, depending what you are able to get a hold of. But I mean, it's just been crazy. And I know I'm gonna sneak my boy in here, but my top five, who I have right now, starting off with number one has to be Slavkovsky. That's who I got at number one. Two is
okay,
going to be Wyatt Johnson.
okay,
Three, I got Matt Boldy. Four, got to keep Beniers in there because he did win the Calder. I feel like he's still in for a big year, especially behind Chandler Stevenson. And five, I'm going with Dylan Gunther. Dylan Gunther. I know you could kind of interchange Gunther, Owen Power, Kent Johnson. There's a couple different players that you could put in that five spot. Shane Wright, even. Like, there's a
yeah.
lot of opportunity in this product for sure. And I feel like that's what's going to make it one of the best years of the Cup that we've seen, for the diversity of all these great players.
Yeah, it's funny because there was a time where we looked at the 22-23 rookie class and said, "Oh my God, this stinks." I mean, Slavkovsky's a bust. He's not doing anything. Wright stinks. He hasn't been able to do anything. Bernier's had a massive, terrible second year to his season. Boldy didn't really replicate the rookie year that he had had. Like, there was all of these guys who we weren't really sure if they were going to be good players. And then all of a sudden, fast forward to the end of this past season, 23-24, now heading into the 24-25 season, a lot of these guys are on the up and up. We feel good about these players. And, there's just as many guys who I think have declined, obviously, since, who, at one point were a big part. Like, remember how much Lucas Reichel was going for at one point?
Oh,
Lucas
dude.
Reichel, his RPAs are going to be involved in this product. At one point, I mean, if this was a year ago before last season, he was one of the hotter rookies because he was projected to skate on a line with Connor Bedard. Well, that didn't quite happen. He didn't develop. He's not that good of a player. And now it's probably going to be one of the, I don't know, tertiary, we'll call it, chases, not even a secondary chase. For me, I've got a very similar top five. There's your boy. There's your boy right there.
Michael.
For me, I'm looking at a similar top five. I have Slavkovsky at number one. I've also got Wyatt Johnson at number two, Matt Boldy at three, Beniers at four. But I do have Matt Wright. Matt Wright. I went to high school with Matt Wright. Shane Wright. Shane Wright as the number five guy. I do think he's going to figure it out. And I think that he just still will have a lot of prospect pedigree, just being a guy who was, OHL priority player. He was able to get exceptional status, and he was someone who fell in the draft, but his name still holds weight, I think, in a lot of people's minds. So I really think that Shane Wright can end up being still being a pretty decent player. And I think that he'll end up scoring some goals. He'll figure it out. And I think that he'll still be a worthwhile chase within this 22-23 rookie class. So I got Wright kind of as the lone difference, I suppose. You've got Gunther at five. I've got Wright at five. I'm sure you got Wright at six, and I got Gunter at six. They're very interchangeable. A couple other guys who I considered was Jake Sanderson. You mentioned Owen Power, but defensemen don't really get a whole lot of love. But there's a couple of other decent little sleeper guys. Like, I don't know, was there anyone who you thought of when you looked at maybe the checklist and you saw some guys like, oh, right, this guy's in 22-23. That might be an interesting RPA to pick up.
I mean, there was a couple players that I had my eye on more for like the value pickups, if you want to call it. And these are rookie auto patches, which is the main rookie auto patch of coming from the cup for a player, and one of the most particular sought after rookie cards when it comes to a hockey player. And the player that I was kind of thinking right off the hop was, and I know I'm kind of like a homer on this, but Thomas Bordlow, a great sleeper in here. David Juracek, sleeper in here. Jack Quinn, sleeper in here. I know we kind of are tied in on that one. Lucas Dostal saw that one too. There was another one that I saw as well. Kuzmenko's in here too, which I noticed. And then there was also...
You're not going to get to your boy?
Which one?
Your boy is in this class. Your boy, Jacob.
Oh, buddy. I was not forgetting about this guy right here. You thought I wasn't gonna put him on the sleeper list? Dang,
brother! I want an honest answer. You pull his 1-of-1 shield, right? His 1-of-1 shield. Are you excited or upset?
I'd be fired up. I mean,
all right. You're walking a table at the show floor, and you see the 1-of-1 shield sitting on there. What price tag would it have to be for you to scoop it up?
You know what? I was actually weird enough. I was looking at some comparables for 1-of-1 shield rookies. I didn't realize how much they actually go for. Like, they're super after. The bare minimum that I saw is $500. So like, I'd probably put.
This is the premier. Like, if you talk about like the best rookie card you could possibly have, it's the 1-of-1 cup shield. Like, this is the highest end rookie card of any player you could possibly have. So you open one up, doesn't matter who it is, it's worth a few $100. Even the worst player on the checklist is usually worth a few $100 because somebody wants it. There is always a collector, even if it's someone's mom, even if it's Jacob Perreault's mother, they probably would be willing to spend a few $100 on it because it's a 1-of-1, and it's the only one that's out there, and it's the most highly sought after rookie card of that person, of that player. So that doesn't surprise me.
I'd probably put him maybe in like I guess like $500 is like the most that I'd pay. And I mean, it's kind of one of those things, like, I don't know if I would pay it. I mean, I guess just because it's so rare. The only thing that still holds his value for me is that he's a Hab. Like, you can't take that away from him for now, even though he was brutal playing for Laval. I think his stats were 16 games and like 1 goal, 1 assist, which is pretty tough for the projections that he was at, being a first-round pick, I believe, a couple of years ago. But I don't know. I mean, there are a ton of names, and you could go name after name after name. And I know you want to get at your list too, because there's so much opportunity to pull some great players in this year. But like you said, like if you are a collector and you do see one of one cup shields rookies at an expo, at a show, on an Instagram for a half decent price, obviously, if it's too, what's the saying? If it's too good to be true, it probably is.
Hmm.
Be careful, but I'd say you have to almost really consider any cup one of one rookies for 300 to 700 in that range. You really need to tell yourself, okay, could there be someone out there that would die for this card right now? Because I guarantee there probably is a collector out there.
For sure. I totally think that there is. A couple other players that I like. I wouldn't call them sleepers, but like secondary guys. I'm still a believer in Bobby Brink. I think he's a goal scorer. I think he's someone who could score 20 to 25 goals on a yearly basis. You know, you pull his cup RPA to 249, you're going to be happy with that one. Lucas Dostal seems to have a really strong market these days. Talented young goaltending prospect for the Anaheim Ducks. There's your boy, Bobby Brink. Pontus Holmberg, you know, Toronto Maple Leafs. You're always, always going to be happy with Toronto Maple Leafs. It's just such a strong market, and he's a young player. And, you know, he's not going to be a superstar, but there's going to be a lot of Holmberg collectors out there. You mentioned Jack Quinn, the Buffalo Sabres. I also kind of like Jonathan Berggren as another player. And one more guy, how about Brant Clark, who seems to have a
Ooh,
pretty strong market uh,
solid.
around these parts. Brant Clark, yeah, you know, I've been a few times. People have walked around at shows and asked, "Hey, you got any Brant Clark?" So, you know, there's going to be lots of collectors looking to grab his, you know, RPA to 249. There it is, Brant Clark of the LA Kings. A really cool thing that Upper Deck is doing though with the cup. So again, the cup, you're going to get it. It's a 6 card tin. That's it. You get 6 cards. 5 of them are going to be some sort of memorabilia slash auto slash RPA of some kind. And then you're going to get a numbered base card. There's one lucky cup out there called the Lucky 710. And what Upper Deck is doing is really, really cool with this. It's going to consist of 7 of the RPAs, the top RPA rookie cards in the class, the 7 that they chose to be out of 99, which is Slavkovsky, Wyatt Johnson, Wyatt Johnson, Kent Johnson, Shane Wright, Matty Beniers, and Owen Power. And let's show the video, a little promo video that they did just a couple of days ago. They dropped this ESB or Upper Deck dropped this. Let me see if I can play it. There we go. So this is what it looks like. This was the first of all, these all just look beautiful. And it's you know, almost like the keeper of the cup in here placing all 7 of these rookie RPAs numbered to 99. Jens Johnson, Shane Wright, you're seeing there, Matty Berniers, like I said, Savkovsky, there's Owen Power, all tucked away into one lucky tin of the cup. And they're calling it the Lucky 7 tin. And they're all going to be numbered to 99. So that's what you're going to be looking at. You're going to be looking for that, I guess, for anyone who's ripping open the cup. That's a pretty cool little promo that they're doing there.
I wonder if someone too. The first thing that kind of came to my mind, obviously, when I saw it, I was driving to school. Hey, I wasn't driving to school. I was parked in the parking lot at school. Let's back up in case my mom's listening. Gotta be careful. I was parked in the parking lot in school, and I saw the video. And the first thing I kind of said to myself was, I wonder if whoever's taking this video handling the cards is maybe gonna mark this box. Because,
No,
dude,
I don't think so. I mean, maybe I don't know.
even
That's
just like the
pretty,
slightest of like what's going on over here? What do I got over here that I could mark?
but it's gonna end up going into
Like
a ten,
just like
but like these go into inners, right? Like these go into inners. So there's what I think six tins within one case, we'll call it. So like
mhm.
even if someone marked the tin, the one lucky 7 tin, they're gonna get fired into a case. So like I don't know. That's very conspiracy theory of you. I would hope that Upper Deck is an honest company and wouldn't do
Yeah,
something like that. But yeah, you never know. You never know. There are some people out there that, have been known to do some pretty slimy things for a couple of bucks, and these would be very expensive cards to go after and to get yourself. So,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
could possibly happen, but I'd hope not. I do want to show off a couple of the cards, though. I think Upper Deck has shown us. Let me just pull this up here. Yeah, this will work. A couple of the cards that we can see here on the checklists. This is courtesy of Beckett, but so we're looking at a couple of them here. This is the dual shields. This is the Kachuk brothers that you can see on the dual shields. That's pretty sick. Not gonna lie, that would be
Nah,
awesome to get a dual shield. Imagine getting like a McDavid and Crosby dual shield or something. Like
that's disgusting.
it'd be crazy if you get something like that. We're looking at some more RPAs. This is what it looks like for Uri Slavkovsky, the gold rookie patch auto for Slavkovsky. I will say this, and here's something that I've noticed over the last, I don't know, couple of years. These patches are getting smaller and smaller. Like they used to be pretty. Like go back and look at Ovechkin's, Crosby's. Like back in the day, the patches were much bigger, and it was
Yeah.
like I don't know, like a bigger kind of shield looking emblem, and now they're no, they're kind of dinky, kind of small. That's my one criticism that I have with the cup these days, and really most RPAs nowadays do kind of have a bit of a smaller patch within them. Not these ones though.
Oh,
The
look at that.
monumental
Hey, they
rookies.
heard you. They heard
Yeah,
you.
they heard me here. Now, I imagine these are game used. I would have to think that these are game used and not manufactured, right?
You would
It doesn't
think, right?
say it doesn't say anywhere on the checklist whether or not it's manufactured or not. I know that Black Diamond manufactures them, but you would think the cup, like this is straight from the dude's jersey. Like gotta be at the very least player worn or event worn, right?
Yeah, so I'm looking at from past years and going off 2018-19, the cup, reading off here, the memorabilia has been certified to the Upper Deck company, has been worn by the featured player, and the
I'll
autograph
take
was signed, yada, yada, yada.
I'll
We
take
know
it.
that.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take worn as long as it's not manufactured, and at least it's worn. I would prefer game used, obviously, but at least it's worn and it's an on-card auto, numbered to 6, like super super short print. There's some numbered to 3 as well. That would be a pretty sweet pull to get. You get like a Uri Slavkovsky with the Montreal Canadiens logo. That would look pretty sick.
I mean, yeah, like I'll take it considering how cool it is, but at the end of the day, it's the cup we're talking about. Like these tins, these cases are going to be thousands of dollars. We want the best of the best, and I think that's what the hobby expects from Upper Deck. Obviously, we'll take it, but coming from the cup, I want to see on-card autos. I want to see game use sticks, just like we're looking at. I want to see game use patches. So
So you want to talk about this one specifically, right? The materialistics.
yeah, and I actually did have. I don't know if you have the photos of the Ovies as well, but I could get those to you right now, so you
Uh,
can pull them.
is there one down here? No, but I
I
did
know.
see. I saw the Ovechkin one. I think. Hold on, I do have it. I can pull it up. I believe it was
I got
on
them if you
the
want.
website. Yeah, if you have it, you can show it on
Oh no,
your
my
screen.
thing doesn't work. My share doesn't work. I remember we tried it last time.
Okay. But the how much better is that than the McDavid?
Hey, they're equally as nice, just more examples. But yeah, this was one of the cards that really stood out to me, just for how nice it looks. Like it has everything you need for your favorite player. Like when we talk about a Grail card, this is like a Grail card of your favorite player, maybe a prospect you're looking at, maybe a player that you just kind of like watching. It's a card that you want to have and display. It's a card that you want to keep in your case. It's a card you want to give to a friend. Like this has everything. Game use patch or a very nice looking patch. We see that on the left. Player use stick and on card autograph, numbered and from the cup. Like it's just the greatest soup of all ingredients that we need in a hockey card. And kind of the note that I added that I want to get across, for me, I'm a massive Patrick Kane fan. And I feel like this is one of the first cards that I would actually go out and spend over three, four, $500 on just to get the Patrick Kane one for my PC. Like, you know me, I'm more of like, I like to collect things, but not expensive things, at least for now. But a card like this, oh, patch, stick, and autograph from the cup. Like, if anyone sees this card in a Patrick Kane in the future, if it comes out a couple years down the road, if it comes
Let
out
Ant
this year,
know.
I need it, man, because this thing is unreal. Like, unreal. It's got everything to it.
It's an awesome card, obviously, and yeah, it's interesting. I saw the picture of the Ovechkin one, but I was looking at the checklist. I didn't see Ovechkin on the Materialistics checklist. Funny enough, it was like,
Really?
yeah, it was only 4 players. I mean, I guess I can scroll right down to the bottom and actually find the
Yeah.
checklist for you, because I think it was the autograph, Materialistics. Is this going to be here? I don't know if we're going to be able to find it as quick as I want to find it. I don't know if we'll find it that quick. But yeah, oh, here it is. Yeah, Materialistics auto checklist. Yeah, McDavid, John LeClaire, Brodeur, and Medano. So
Hmm.
I don't know if if the one that we saw.
Oh, you want to know why? Actually, I just emailed you the photos of the OV2. I don't know if it's possible for you to maybe take off the screen, grab it, and then put it up, if that is possible. But the OV is not a signature one, so it's just
Oh, okay, okay.
patch and the stick. So equally as cool. I mean, obviously, it's going to be a little bit more expensive to grab that auto patch and stick of the player you want to get. But just imagine, so the photo is pretty much full, maybe half body of Ovi, push down a little bit the patch
Show
and the
your
stick.
phone on the screen. Just show your phone on the screen.
Oh,
I'll pull us up.
here we go. Here we go. It's coming in hot.
Yeah, for those on YouTube, if you're listening on Spotify, which is where you can get the show now,
For
head over to
for
YouTube to see.
for the on the go listeners, close your eyes and imagine a beautiful little Ovi card going on right here.
Yeah, so there's the OV one.
So
Um,
equally as cool too. Obviously, without the autograph, these are out of 25, which is pretty rare too. Obviously, love the 3-color patch and the nice little. I believe that's the CCM ribcore stick. No
mhm.
auto, which is nice. So this is the photo that we did see already of the McDavid, and this is the other McDavid. So this one is the 3 out of 15 version. Cool patch, cool stick, and nice little autograph. So love that.
They're cool,
Love.
man. It's a pretty sweet looking set, obviously. And we can continue to kind of look at some of these emblems of endorsement, OV, double patch there. The trios premium materials like this. I mean, you've got Quinn Hughes, Brock Besser, and Elias Pettersson. Canucks fans will be clamoring for a card like this. Just beautiful, 3 beautiful patches for the 3 superstars out in Vancouver. You got booklets like this, Legends of the NHL booklets. Look at this 9-way auto, like Paul Coffey, Nick Lidstrom, yeah, Burns, McCarr, Chelios, Rob Blake, Ray Boyd. It's unbelievable the stuff that they're able to get in here. But like Dom Hasek, Patrick Roy, Martin Brodeur, arguably the 3 greatest goalies of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, I believe this one is what, number to 9. Like, can you really get a better card than this if you're a goaltending fan? Like, this is just unbelievable booklet. You pull this, you are ecstatic grabbing something like that.
Unreal. Unreal. Even that 9-way too. It's just crazy. Awesome stuff.
It's stupid. Like the stuff they have here is just absolutely. Now, I stuff like these though, like these 9-ways, they're all sticker, which you don't
Yeah.
love, obviously. Whereas I believe these ones are on card, the Brodeur Waugh and Dom Hasek ones. And then obviously this is where they're capping off the Exquisite trilogy. So you had the first little taste of Exquisite and Black Diamond, then obviously Ice, which is where the Bedard 1 of 1 hails, and then this is where they finish off the Exquisite with some more RPAs, and this is what the Owen Power one looks like. Pretty sweet looking patch there, but another, fantastic RPA that will fetch a pretty penny. The logos collection as well. So lots of really, really cool stuff that you can get inside of this product. And yeah, I mean, I'm probably not gonna open any because I'm not, one to drop $1,200 on a 6 card tin. That's a literal slot machine at that point. But man, I'll be excited to actually seek out some of these box breaks. Some of these breaks, tin breaks, I guess is what we'll call
Yeah.
these ones, and just see the cards as they get pulled out. Because man, there's gonna be some real sweet cards that get pulled. I'm excited for it.
Some crazy stuff. No, some crazy stuff for sure.
All right. So we kind of did the hobby news a little bit earlier. Is going to be the Connor Bedard exquisite RPA bounty. So there's kind of the big hobby news, I guess. So if anyone does open it up, contact Slab Sharks because they're looking to put 75K in your jeans. So
Oof.
do so if you open that bad boy. So let's just move right to show and tell, Anthony, because
Oh, my favorite.
we missed last week too. So we've got kind of a couple weeks worth of pickups that we could discuss here. Now I was away, like I said, I was on a bachelor trip all weekend this weekend, but last weekend I picked up a couple of things. So I'll show my pickups really quickly because there really isn't much, and then you have a little bit more, so we'll give you more time. But I actually only made one trade. I set up at a show and I did more selling than buying, but I did make one trade and picked up these 4 cards doing so. I got a Kale McCarr population count to 500. Little
Oh,
Kale McCarr action, to 500. I got an ultimate introductions Timo Meyer rookie from Ultimate to 25.
oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's
nice
sweet.
little card at 25. It's a nice little card. I'm big on the Devils this year, by the way.
Yeah, huge.
Uh, this was a cool little card that I picked up too, a UD Canvas Black. It was from Series 2, the UD retired canvas, but the black variant of Maurice Richard.
Wow,
Cool
never
little
seen
photo
that.
there. Yeah, I really, really like this card, actually. This is a really cool kind of pickup that I was able to make. Maurice Richard, Montreal Canadiens legend, obviously, named after the Rocket Richard. But like the retired canvas and the black and white at that, when things
Sweet.
were black and white, I think was a pretty cool pickup. And then I also just ended up getting a pretty cheap Brock Bester Young Guns as well as part of the deal. So those are kind of the small pickups that I made at the card shows, more of a trade than anything. But you have some much bigger and better things to show the class.
So I had some nice pickups. I did a lot of work at the past 2 card shows. Almost too much work to show. I mean, there was a lot of cards in that $5 to $50 range too that I tossed up on eBay and kind of have dialed in for the CSC show. So don't mind some of these price tags because I started pricing things out, but just a couple cards. There's about 6 or 7 here from my
Show the hits. Show the hits.
yeah, these are some of my favorites for sure. So I picked up this beauty, Elias Pettersson out of 25, exquisite 2-color patch. And this is actually game used too. Came with the 1-touch. I want to get the light going a little bit better here, just so you can see it. But it is sweet. Out of 25. Love that. Nice and chill card. The perfect card for a Pettersson collector.
Is Pettersson was he a buy for you this summer? I did notice you picked up quite a bit of him throughout the last few weeks.
I'd say he's a buy. I mean, people were really low on him at the end of last season, like super low. His prices started to tick back up, and we had that conversation too, but they got way too low, like disrespectfully low. Like I've seen his Young Guns PSA 10s go for less than $150 when they used to be a $300 card. Like it's criminal. But we'll see what he could do this year. We'll see what he can do. So that's my Pettersson pickup. I love that one. Next up was another guy. I feel like he's super slept on. Game used as well. This one's out of 25, I believe. Yep, 12 out of 25. Jordan Kyrou, 4-color patch, which I love. Obviously, game used out of SP game used. Pick this up for cheap too. I mean, came with the one touch, which is nice. Perfect card for eBay. It's kind of like a small patch. Like you talked about it too, with
Yeah.
the cup. These patches getting smaller and smaller, but it's a nice little card. I mean, for a Kairu collector, if you pick this up for $20 and you like Kairu, I feel like that's a great price to get into it.
He had a
I'd say.
nice year last season. Him and Robert Thomas, I think, are two pretty, good undervalued players. Don't play in a strong market, which might be why, but I like him as a player.
Yeah.
Read the back of that. You tell me if it's game used, because SB game used, not always game used. Fun fact for people.
So this one, you have received a trading card with Jordan Kyrou, game use hockey memorabilia, certified has been used in an official NHL game. So having a card like that, 4-color patch, numbered out of 25, and it's game used, I was pretty happy with it. I was pretty happy.
No, that's a solid pickup, but you'd be surprised how many SP game used cards that I've looked at, picked up, bought, and pulled. When I've ripped it open and I'm looking on the back and it's not game used, and I'm like, literally in the name. It is in the name, and half the time it's event worn or player worn. I'm like, this is ridiculous. But anyway, man,
Hey, 4 more pickups. So also picked up, and I don't usually pick up this stuff, but the Cup rookie auto patch of Braden Point. BGS 9510 auto. Such a clean card. Such a clean card. And honestly, even for $350, like, it's so cheap. Point is so cheap. Like, I was talking to the guy about it too, like, just with the discrepancy in prices. And I think even Tim Stutzel, his rookie auto patch out of 249 goes for like $1,800.
Oh yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I sound like Kucherov. You know that? I don't know if you ever saw it when Kucherov was chirping.
I just made that joke. Are you kidding me?
Oh my god, that's actually the funniest thing ever. When he was chirping the Montreal Canadiens, but are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Unreal. So that's
my boy Jesse Pollock, that's like his favorite saying of all time. Anyways.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm with you though. Like Braden Point, super slept on. He's someone I wonder though. Now that like Stamkos is gone, like is he someone who might start to get some more respect in that market specifically? And maybe you could see a bit of an uptick in his pricing. Maybe not, but that's just something I thought about.
No, I think so too. I feel like they're really going to give him the keys, but you can't sleep on this guy right here.
But they acted, the fans in Montreal, come on. They acted like they won the Stanley Cup last game. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's so gross. No, I do think Points could have a big year. I feel like Tampa will be pretty good too. Vasi's due for a little pick-me-up after last year's slow start, obviously, with that hip surgery. And I mean, yeah, I'm happy with this pickup. Definitely happy. And, I'm not looking to sell it for too cheap, but I'll definitely hold on to it. I mean, I don't mind holding on to this thing until Expo time. It's just one of those cards. So
you gonna keep it in the BGS 9 slab?
Yeah, honestly, I was thinking about cracking it, but I feel like the BGS 9 with the 10 auto makes it nice enough where it's just about worth a raw. If it was a BGS 8.5 with like a 9 auto or even like a 10 auto, probably cracking it. But it's a massively thick card. So
well, that's it. Like it's the thickness. So I would imagine even if you looked at the pop, there's probably not as many 9.5s as you would think. So, I'm sure, and it's a card that's numbered to what, 249. So there's not a lot of them anyway. I would leave it in a BGS 9 slab, and if someone wants the card because they're a point collector, they'll pony up and they'll buy the card.
Yeah.
What else you got?
So 3 more cards, a little bit boring because I'm sure you guys see these cards all the time, but I love picking up this stuff. Picked up another McDavid Young Gun, not the best condition though, a little bit rough around the edges on the bottom and on the back as well. It was like the back bottom right corner, but I mean, picking up a McDavid Young Gun, it feels like you can't go wrong. Just to have it in the display case, it's such eye candy for people walking by. People love it. People want to trade. People want to buy it. So I was really happy to pick that up. McDavid. Final 2 pickups were these 2 Austin Matthews Young Guns BGS 9.5s. Can't go wrong with Matthews, the captain now, and it's just one of those cards, man, like that I think I'm pretty firm on, considering the season's right around the corner. There's almost no reason to kind of go out and try and sell these for super cheap. So I'm really happy to pick up some nice cards this weekend, especially those last 4 cards. Those are definitely, including the point, my favorite 4 of the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, and it's something else, to touch on what we talked about earlier, where guys are willing to stay firm on their prices on cards like that. You just know that these cards are going to go up, especially a guy like Matthews, where we've seen those cards get to, if he gets off to a hot start or goes on any type of hot run throughout the year, it's like, why am I going to take a loss? Like, there's no point. Like, I know that this card's going to get somewhere. So, even me, like I had a PSA 9 sitting in my display case the other day, and I got a lot of offers on it for about market value, but I know market value is still low right now. So it's like a month from now, that market value is going to be up about 100, $150. So I'll hang on to it for a month, and then hopefully, we can make some money at that point. Solid pickups. There's another show this upcoming weekend, pretty big show actually, the CSC show in Mississauga. You excited for that one?
Oh, dude, I'm fired up. Got the table too. Started putting some price tags on the cards. I gotta so tomorrow I will be at home locking into some cards, because Saturday I want to be golfing. I don't want to be looking at any cards. I kind of just want to wake up Sunday morning. Everything's ready to go. So I'll do that probably at some point, either Wednesday or Thursday. And I feel like just getting these, things for the display case, getting the so I'm losing words right now. Getting the value boxes ready to go. I got a little tawny box going that I kind of want to bring out. A little bit of a different vibe I think I want to bring to this show, and kind of just keep things moving, because I really want to start flipping inventory so that I could start picking up a lot of stuff for the expo. So I'm super fired up for this show. If you are in the Mississauga area, it is at the Mississauga Convention Show. I'll be set up. Eric will be set up. I don't think you will be set up, but I know you will try to be there.
I'm trying to get there. I don't think I'm going to be set up, but I'm going to try and certainly get there. It's a long show. It runs from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So it's a long show. So even if I show up around 2, 3 o'clock, still gives me plenty of time to walk the show floor and try and make some moves, some pickups, and come say what up to you and our boy Eric. So the CSC show, check that out this Sunday. 6 to 10 at was it the Mississauga? What's it called again?
Mississauga Convention Center.
Mississauga Convention Center, which is different from the International Center,
correct,
where the expo is. They're both like on Derry Road, but they're two different locations.
Also, like 20 minutes apart. For those of you that have never driven down Derry Road, it's a pretty long road.
Yeah, pretty long road. Well, I think that does it for us here today. Anything else you wanna talk about real briefly, or are we done for the day, you think?
I think we're done for the day. Obviously, want to put a disclaimer on the hat I'm wearing right now. Picked it up from Abercrombie. It is sweet, but I am a Cowboys fan, because I've been catching a lot of slack at school recently. I don't know, man. I think I got to retire wearing like other teams. Like, I know Cowboys, Bruins, Leafs, obviously. Not a big baseball guy, Raptors guy. But
it's blasphemous.
Dude, I don't know. It's like it's a criminal offense wearing another team. Like, dude, it's a nice hat. I like it. It's a nice hat.
No, it's a criminal offense. It is. It's blasphemous. Like,
I
you
think
can't call yourself a team, a fan of a team, and then represent another team. You just can't. I don't care if it goes with the fit, bro. I don't care. Don't do it. You know how many white Cowboys hats there are out there? 1 billion of them.
Hey,
It's
I mean,
like
I have one.
freaking Cowboys. There's literally there's no other football team that has more merch than the Cowboys. You gotta rock a white Fins cap. Come on, the Fins are frauds, brother. The Fins are frauds.
Oh, they are frauds, man. With no Tyreek Hill, too. Obviously, I'm 1-1 in all 3 of my fantasy leagues right now. I'm feeling okay. I don't know how you're doing, but that's kind of all I had to get off my chest. For football, I will be, if you're at the Jags-Bills game on Monday, any listeners, I will be there. So come say what's up.
Nice. You gonna bring any cards to open up? I love how people do that
Oh,
these
that'd be
days.
sick. That would actually be pretty cool. I should bring like a little pack. They do like that's actually a good idea. I should do that.
Yeah.
Where you get like the wide shot. You can see like the whole arena and you just open it up. That's a good idea. I'm gonna put a reminder on my phone for that.
Should. Or maybe try and open some hockey cards, see if you can pull some Sabres, perhaps. Go buy a
Ooh.
tin of the cup. Try and pull a Jack Quinn or an Owen Power.
Yeah, I'll probably stick with like MVP or something like that, but I'll keep the cup for maybe the future. We'll see.
MVP's toilet paper. That's not what we want here. All right, that'll do it for us here today on the podcast. I'd like to thank you all for listening and supporting the show. You can subscribe right here on YouTube, and you can also find us for you on the go listeners on Spotify as well. So go subscribe to Spotify and YouTube. That would be greatly appreciated. We'll be back next Wednesday with another episode of the Hockey Card Haven podcast.